It's Wednesday, the 6th of September 2023. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Jennifer Duke.
Hey, good morning, Michael.
Now, Jen, we have 5 stories to get through in 5 minutes, so we better get going. And they have 5 big stories today, so we don't have a lot of time. Story number 1, the Reserve Bank has kept rates on hold, but flagged concerns about the outlook for inflation and also left the door open to future hikes.
Yeah, that's right, Michael. So this is actually Governor Philip Lowe's final interest rate decision, and he left it at 4.1%. There are heaps of mortgage holders who'll be breathing a sigh of relief at the moment because they've faced rises to the tune of 4 percentage points since May last year. And the RBA knows that. That's part of the reason that we're on hold, so that they can see whether those increases that they've put through will do the trick in terms of bringing inflation down. This is the third month on hold, and the RBA specifically said that inflation has passed its peak now in Australia, with the monthly inflation data for July showing another decline. So that's pretty good news.
Yeah, that is good news. But big question, is this the end of the rate rising cycle?
I'll stare into my crystal ball because that is the huge question of the moment, and we're all thinking about it. Look, the RBA kept the same wording as last month on this particular issue. So they said that there's some further tightening that might be needed to get inflation down, which is code for maybe another interest rate hike. But ultimately, it depends on the data and the changing risks.
Now, your other job is as the economics correspondent for Capital Brief, so you keep a very close eye on all of this. There are some serious uncertainties to the outlook right now.
That's right. One of them is actually the impact on Australia that might occur as a result of China's economy and the stress in the property market over there, which we've spoken about quite a bit. China is obviously our major trading partner and its economy affects us significantly. There's also some local uncertainty in there, so we don't know how businesses are going to respond to slower economic growth in terms of pricing and wages. And we don't fully know yet how people will change their spending because there are some households that are doing it really tough with higher mortgages, but others have lots of savings and are benefiting from those higher interest rates and from rising house prices.
All right, on to story number 2, a massive 24 hours for business news, Jen. Qantas CEO Alan Joyce will retire 2 months early as the scandals engulfing the airline continue.
Yeah, so Joyce is going to step down sooner than he'd originally planned, and that's to help with renewal at Qantas. And Vanessa Hudson will be CEO from today. And Joyce described it as the best thing that he could do under the circumstances. He said there was a lot that he was proud of from his last 22 years at the national carrier, of which 15 were as CEO. But he acknowledged there have been some ups and downs, including the last few weeks very much in the down category. And Chairman Richard Goyder said that Joyce had always had the best interests of Qantas front and centre, and his decision to step down demonstrated that. Goyder said that he wouldn't step down, though. Shareholders will vote on Hudson as a replacement at the AGM in November.
Story number 3, Westpac is facing legal action from the corporate regulator over allegations it failed to respond to hundreds of customers facing difficulties repaying their loans.
So there were more than 200 customers who'd told Westpac that they were struggling with issues affecting their ability to make repayments, and they were asking to enter hardship arrangements with the bank, but Westpac failed to respond to them, and that's according to ASIC. So this relates to customer issues from 2015 to 2022, and there was a problem during this time with the online hardship notice process, which meant that customers weren't getting a response within a required timeframe of 21 days, which is what National Credit Code says must be done.
So what is ASIC saying in this case?
So ASIC's actually saying that Westpac didn't act efficiently, honestly, or fairly by failing to respond to those customers. So Westpac has apologised, and they actually self-reported this issue. They're not making excuses for it, and they're saying they've helped out some of the customers after the timeframe, but it wasn't good enough. Westpac received about 630,000 hardship requests over the period in question, but they know that just one borrower not getting the help that they need is one too many.
All right, on to story number 4. More than $60 million has been stolen from cryptocurrency casino Stake.com by cyber criminals. Now, this is not the online share trading platform Stake. They are 2 different entities.
Yeah, so this particular Stake is a gambling website that uses crypto, and Aussies can't actually access it because of laws here that ban online casinos. And it's actually operated out of Melbourne, though, by one of Australia's youngest self-made billionaires. That's Ed Craven, who is a co-founder. Now, this was a pretty serious cyber attack on Stake. Thankfully, they're saying that user funds are safe. No customer has suffered a loss as a result, but Ethereum withdrawals were temporarily down. Now, the AFR reports that the funds were stolen from one of the company's hot wallets, which is where the company digitally stores crypto to pay out customers. They're talking to authorities now about the attack.
I love the idea of a hot wallet. Story number 5. After years of forecasts that China will take over from the US as the world's biggest economy, maybe that won't be the case. Bloomberg Economics has released new predictions saying that it will now take until the mid-2040s for China's GDP to pass that of the US.
Yeah, and that will only be a temporary blip before it falls back behind. And that's because China's downshifting onto a slower growth path than previously expected. So the post-COVID recovery that was expected has already kind of run out of steam. This is compounded by the property slump and declining confidence. China's economy actually expanded by 3% last year, but this is one of the slowest growth rates in decades.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Jen.
Thanks so much, Michael.
It is Wednesday, the 6th of September, 2023. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed Business News wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.